In this YouTube video introduction, we're addressing the frustrating issue of why cars won't start. We'll explore the top 10 reasons, explain how they occur, and provide practical solutions for diagnosing and fixing the problems. Whether you're an expert or a beginner, we've got you covered. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And let's delve into the reasons your car might not start.
A dead battery means that there is not enough power to start the engine. This can be caused by flashing lights, bad weather, or an aging battery. To test the battery voltage with a multimeter, set it to the DC voltage setting and connect the red lead to the positive terminal and the black lead to the negative terminal. A healthy battery will typically read about 12.6 volts. If it is significantly less, the battery may need to be recharged or replaced. The battery can die due to flashing lights, extreme weather, or an aging battery. If the battery is dead, replace it. There are different ways to charge the battery. You can use a dedicated battery charger, which is connected to the battery terminals and a power source. Set the charger to the appropriate voltage and current for your battery and let it charge until it's fully charged. To jumpstart a car, you need jumper cables and another vehicle with a working battery. Connect the cables correctly and start the working car. Then, try to start your car. Empty fuel tank, the most obvious reason for a car not starting due to a fuel problem is an empty fuel tank. Check your fuel gauge to ensure you have enough fuel. If it's empty, refuel the car. Fuel pump failure. The fuel pump is responsible for delivering fuel from the tank to the engine. A failed fuel pump can lead to starting issues. You may hear a whining noise when the ignition is turned on if the fuel pump is working properly. Clogged fuel filter. A clogged fuel filter can restrict fuel flow to the engine, resulting in starting problems. Replacing the fuel filter is a common fix for this issue. Contaminated fuel, bad or contaminated fuel, can also prevent the car from starting. If you've recently refueled and suspect the quality of the fuel, you may need to drain the fuel system and refill it with clean fuel. Fuel injectors issues. Malfunctioning fuel injectors can disrupt the fuel-air mixture in the engine, making it difficult to start the car. Cleaning or replacing the injectors may be necessary. A faulty starter motor can indeed prevent a car from starting. The starter motor is responsible for turning the engine over when you turn the key in the ignition. When it fails, you may hear a clicking sound or nothing at all when you try to start the car. Try tapping the starter. Sometimes, a gently tapped on the starter motor with a tool like a wrench or a hammer can get it working temporarily. If this works, it's a sign that the starter motor is likely the problem. If the starter motor is confirmed to be faulty, you'll need to replace it. This is a more complex job and is often best done by a professional mechanic, as it involves accessing the starter motor, which is typically located near the bottom of the engine. A car may not start due to ignition system problems, which can encompass a range of issues related to the components responsible for initiating the combustion process in the engine. Here are some common ignition system problems and what you can do to address them. Faulty ignition switch. The ignition switch is responsible for sending an electrical signal to the starter motor and the ignition system. If it's malfunctioning, the car may not start. You might need to replace the ignition switch. Damaged spark plugs. Spark plugs provide the spark necessary for combustion in the engine. If they are worn out, fouled, or damaged, they won't produce a strong enough spark and the engine won't start. Replace the spark plugs. Failed ignition coil. The ignition coil generates the high voltage needed to spark the spark plugs. A failed ignition coil can result in a weak or no spark. Replace the ignition coil if it's faulty. Ignition key or key fob issues. Modern cars often have electronic ignition systems that require a functioning key or key fob. If there's a problem with the key or the electronic immobilizer system, the engine may not start. In such cases, consult the vehicle's manual and contact the manufacturer or a professional locksmith for assistance. When a car does not start due to engine timing issues, it typically means that the synchronization of the engine's internal components such as the pistons, valves, and the crankshaft, is not functioning properly. Engine timing is critical for the engine to run smoothly and efficiently. If the timing is off, it can lead to poor performance, engine damage, or a failure to start. Here's a closer look at the possible causes of engine timing issues and what you can do when they happen. Timing belt or chain problems. Many internal combustion engines use timing belts or chains to connect the crankshaft to the camshaft. If these components wear out or break, it can disrupt the engine's timing. In such cases, you may hear unusual noises or experience poor performance before the engine refuses to start. What to do? You will need to replace the timing belt or chain. It's essential to adhere to the manufacturer's recommended maintenance schedule to prevent such issues. Camshaft, crankshaft position sensor failure. Modern cars rely on sensors to monitor the positions of the camshaft and crankshaft. If these sensors malfunction, they can send incorrect signals to the engine control unit ECU, leading to timing problems. What to do? Diagnose and replace the faulty sensor. A diagnostic scan may help identify the issue. Valve timing problems. The relationship between the camshaft and the valve's opening and closing must be precise. If the timing is off, the valves may not open and close at the right times, causing the engine to misfire or not start. What to do? Consult a mechanic to check and adjust the valve timing. This can be a complex and delicate task, so it's best left to professionals.
So, there you have it, the top common reasons why your car might not start and how to troubleshoot and, in some cases, fix these issues yourself. We hope this video has been informative and that you've gained some valuable insights into car maintenance. Remember, while DIY troubleshooting and repairs are great, some problems may require the expertise of a professional mechanic. So, if you find yourself in a situation where you're unsure or the issue seems too complex, don't hesitate to seek professional help. It's always better to ensure your safety and the well-being of your vehicle. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more automotive tips, tutorials, and guides. Also, feel free to leave any questions or comments down below. We'd love to hear from you and assist with any concerns you might have.